Alright, so what I decided to do is I was going to cut this down to 2 feet, and then I realized they probably need a corner that's completely windproof, somewhere they can huddle, especially whenever it gets cold outside. So I am going to keep this 2 feet. The real problem comes in whenever I realize that I have 5-foot chicken wire, and the distance between this and the top is now 6 feet because it's 8 foot to the peak right here. So I'm trying to decide what I want to do. Do I want to kick another bar across the top of this to here and then put another piece between this, like another piece of chicken wire essentially, so I don't have to just absolutely waste a huge piece, and I can just use some for the other side also. I don't know. I feel like half of this entire process has just been absolutely spitballing. Not knowing what I'm doing, you know. Well, but it's one of those. So hindsight's always 20/20. But sometimes it's really nice whenever you accidentally make a really good decision. Like I bought these cheap Ryobi tools. I was building a shed at my old house, and I needed some. Actually, I just needed simply this. I had an Impact. I have a Milwaukee Impact that I actually don't like as much as this, which is crazy because like you would think a fuel Impact is nice. But I love how many batteries I can get for these so much cheaper. But this is what I wanted, honestly. And the thing is it's not made for a contractor. It's made for a homeowner. So as long as I don't use it for too long, it should last me a good while because I'm just building little small piddly stuff. I'm not using it every day of my life. But there is something I did learn, which is Milwaukee tips are about as good of a Phillips bit head as you're gonna find. But it's one of those. Again, this whole thing is just basically scabbed together. But here we are. But I'm trying to decide what I want to do. Do I make a roost bar in here? Or should I build a coop that I can hang on the wall in there? It really doesn't take that much wood. Just a little bit of OSB, and I can make a coop, something big enough for a few birds to get in at night. And I thought about having a coop and then like something next to it, because this is going to be completely enclosed. And eventually, I would like to build a run out to each side, so that they have a little area outside to roam around in, that I can close on and off. Something that's covered. I thought about using like a vinyl tarp. This whole process has been its own adventure. Okay. I wonder how I can. It's this one. This is the one, Craig. Alright, so I would like to also pre-apologize if you see my stomach or my back. I've sagged my pants my entire life because they're never long enough and I don't want to custom order pants. And I'm too short for an XLT, I'm 6'4", but I'm too tall for a normal XL, so I just don't ever have sleeves the right length either way. Anyway, so I want to talk about price, the price of what I paid for all this. So I feel like I was watching 5 Acre Farms and he was talking about don't haggle with your egg suppliers because things are expensive, and he paid $10,000 for the materials just to build his breeder pens. Granted, this is only 2, but this is just a little bit. I mean, you just have to work with what you've got. So I'll give you a cost breakdown of everything. So I buy a lot of my stuff at auctions. Like the inside of these look terrible, but this T111 looks decent on the outside. So the T111 I paid $5 a sheet. I got 7 sheets and I've got a bunch of half sheets free, like a bunch. Anyways, the ceiling, the roof, I paid $5 a sheet. I thought that I bought 11, but I actually got like 14. I was counting them the other day and I was like, what the heck? I was like, he's way off. 2x4s. So like I ripped these 2x4s in half, but I actually paid like $2.27 for these. It was a weird deal at Menards. So I think I used like 18 2x4s here, which is like roughly 30, let's call it $40. $40 I used most of these hangers, so probably 15, 55. The metal I used 7 pieces times 5, so $90. Then plus 20, so these are $5. I used 4 of them. That's another 20 bucks, $110. I'm trying to think. $10, so $3 a bag for this concrete mix. So I paid 10 bucks for that, so 120. I'm trying to think, what else did I use? All my screws, I think I used like 2 pounds at $3 a pound, which are really cheap screws. Honestly, I don't advise that. So like what? Another 626. So roughly 100 and my hinges are real cheap, and the latches that I'm going to use are also real cheap. So you're looking at like $120, $130 for me to do this. Oh, I forgot. I bought my big spool of chicken wire. I paid $49 for it for 150 feet times 5 feet, essentially. So this is going to be 7. I'm going to use 2, 14. So I'm going to run this whole thing 20, probably twice, 40. What would that break down to? 150 feet divided by 50 is 30 cents a foot. So if that's 40 and this is 14, so 54 times 30 cents a foot. Man. So would it break it down to be like $15 roughly? So 150 bucks is what I built these 2 breeder pins for. Which granted, they still need waterers and all the stuff that goes with it. But as far as I'm concerned, that is a lot cheaper than paying $10,000. That's just a little bit of a cost breakdown. I think I don't even have that much money in the barn because they were already pretty well set up, and I just used old wire that I already had, which kind of doesn't count. I should count it. But I think that's all that I use for this entire thing. And then, so I also have, I'm going to call it Rooster Island. I picked up a pin. It's free. It's like a 12 foot by 12 foot old dog fence with kind of rotten wood on the bottom. I'm going to have to fix those, but it'll work for now. And then it came with a, I think 8 foot by 3 foot, something like that. Little chicken coop with a little ramp, and it's raised off the ground so they can still get underneath it. So I think that's where I'm going to put all my birds. I'm going to sell until I sell them because there's a 4-H auction coming up. But that'll mean that I will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That'll be 7 breeder pins, which is it's enough. It's a pretty good start. I kind of hate that I buy random birds, but that's beyond the point. But I'm going to go ahead and start to slapping some chicken wire on here. I'm trying to decide if I want to just throw another piece of wood on here because these are not real great. I think I will. I've got one more right there. I'm going to time lapse it. Makes it a little faster. So this is my $2 auction table saw. Anyways, I picked up some real cheap Menards blades and threw it on there, and this is what I ripped my 2x4s with. It's important to note that every input matters. So like the cost of a 2x4, and really, it could be a 1x2, and it would just serve the same point. These are just as cheap as a 1x2 and twice as strong. Oh, here's the neighbor's dog. She's a sweet, sweet girl. She gets along with all the chickens and some of our dogs. You can hear two of them. I'm sorry about that. God. Oh, sweetie girl.